scandal. Now, this all started in Europe in January 2013. What exactly happened is, guys, is that they found traces of DNA, of horse DNA to be exact, in beef samples. Now, what they did is they went through samples from testicle and Phidias, lasagnas, and in those they found that about 15, anywhere from 15 to 45% in the testicle, and then again, like even higher percentage in the lasagna, from 30 to 100% of the actual samples contained horse meat. Now, it's kind of crazy to think, guys, that in the 21st century this can get out of hand this bad. But you know what? What are we really going to do about it? Us as consumers, we have to hope and we have to trust the manufacturers and shippers that we will actually get what we pay for. When you go to the store and if it says chicken, well, you're buying it because you want to eat chicken. You're not buying the chicken and you're hoping it's turkey. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. But hey, what are we as consumers going to do? Now, it was all leaked back to two Romanian brothers who own a butcher shop, and they just took them all in and butchered them all. But what they do is they redistribute it out to the manufacturers that make it, into the meat and blah, 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 and send it and package it all up and send it down. What had happened is that they had received 863 carcasses. You guys know what carcass is? It's a dead body. They received 836 dead horse bodies, and of those 836, 15 of them were contaminated, and that's where it all started. So those 15 contaminated ones were all chopped up and then distributed out. But what happened is it got mixed in with the beef because they have two different plants. So they cut up all the beef and stuff like that, but they were mixing it at their butcher, which is why they got in so much shit. But what actually happened, guys, is that they didn't get in any trouble at all. Nope. They just said, hey, all charges dropped, a big old slap on the wrist type thing, and they were okay. How can you get away with doing stuff like that? I don't understand it, but you know what? I don't rule the government. I don't even know what they were thinking. Politics, bet you guys, has a big thing to do with why they weren't charged. They were probably working for the government, or they were like a state appointed butcher or something like that, and they couldn't actually charge them. Now, the UK got a clear bill of health, as did Ireland, where the meat contamination crisis was first identified in January. In the UK, 150 samples of prepackaged beef products and 34 that were not prepackaged were submitted for survey by the food standards. None were found to contain DNA at or above 1% threshold. So, you guys don't know this, but beef doesn't have to be 100% beef. If it says 100% beef, it's impossible. They're allowed to be below a 1% threshold, which means, sure, those products might have contained horse meat, but it was below 1%, so it might have been like 009 or 00, like whatever. As long as it's under 1%, they're actually legally allowed to sell it as 100% beef. Because it's impossible to get 100%. Just like gold. When you guys go get a 100% gold ring, it's not 100% gold, it's 99.9% real gold, and it's got 1% of whatever else with minerals added in. So, hey guys, hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, I have another example of this. It's from China, and in China they were actually taking chicken eggs and they were manufacturing them to be fraud chicken eggs, so counterfeit chicken eggs. What are we coming to, guys? Honestly, if a government, or sorry, not a government, but if an organization of people have to resort to making fake eggs, then you know there's money in doing it. Obviously, there's some kind of benefits or something to making counterfeit things. Of course, they're making enough money. They sold, over the course of 2 years, they sold these counterfeit eggs for something like $1 million in 2 years. Try to be an egg farmer and make $1 million. Good luck. Unless you have like a billion chickens or something like that. But it'd be incredibly hard for you to make $1 million in 2 years by yourself. Unless you're like an entrepreneur or something. Just imagine that, guys. You go to your local grocery store, you go to get yourself a carton of eggs, you bring them home, there's nothing inside. That was what was happening. They made it so that the eggs would crack like a normal shell, and there wouldn't be, there'd be a yolk inside of it, except it had no protein value whatsoever. So it'd be like eating nothing. It'd be like eating air. you're eating it like it's fast food type thing. That it's 100% fake, artificially built. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but it's a little bit weird on my half. I don't like eggs personally, but my family eats a lot of eggs, and just to know that could happen if we lived in China, it's kind of crazy. So yeah. Hey guys, this is my CNN food scandal cartoon analysis, part A, guys. This cartoon is about the growing concern about what food contains that we purchase. Now, what I mean by this is this entire issue is about how never believe the label, or there could be faulty labels. So if it says 99, if it says 100% real ground beef, as a consumer, we believe, okay, that's what it is, so we just grab it off the shelf, we take that home with us. But as consumers, we should also be really aware that, like, we're lied to come products, we're lied to, stuff like that. Now, do we have to get into the habit of being lied to with food? I don't think we should be, because food's food. Like, if it's coming down to that, we're gonna have to, like, walk around with, like, a little DNA tester and shove it in there. Who has a household DNA tester? I don't personally, but if you guys do, hey, sorry. Now, also, there's a big religious aspect behind this, because Muslims and Jewish people cannot eat horse meat, and Muslims cannot eat pigs. So if this stuff's being all mixed together and they're buying beef because they know, oh, I can't eat the other meat, what's that do to their religion when they're eating into their cheeseburger and it has horse meat in it and they don't even know? Now, I was reading up on the religious things, and a lot of Muslims and Jewish churches and stuff like that, they came to a consensus that has stated they're completely okay with the fact that this scandal got out, and there's going to be no reprimands or stuff like that for people who have eaten this and got affected by it, because it wasn't their intention. Now, it's completely different if they went in and got themselves a horse meat burger, or they ate a couple strips of bacon, then they'd be like, you know what, you guys intentionally did this. Because in their religion, it's a severe sin to eat that stuff, but not in ours. Okay, guys, for part B, this cartoon uses satire to get across the point of how eating the beef products that they've been shown to have foreign DNA can make you feel. They achieved this, guys, because in the cartoon, they got the guy going all the way up in the air and he's saying, oh, I'm sick for eating, it must have been something I ate. When in actuality, yeah, it was. It's got nothing to do with the ride, it's got to do with what he ate in his stomach. So it's kind of, you know what I mean, kind of satire-ish. Because the guy, like, we all know what could happen if we ate that kind of food. They also use symbolism. In the symbolism, they use the guy's green face, and they use the whole aspect of him being on a ride. Because the guy also, however, looks like anybody else. He could be a guy you pass on the street and you would never even think twice about him. The cartoonist is trying to make us think that it can happen to anybody at any point in time, no matter who you are. As long as you eat beef, it could happen to you. So be aware of that. Because there's people out there that are gonna say, you know what, I don't care. It's never gonna happen to me. Well, it actually could happen to you. That's why they use the cartoon with this kind of character. If they would have used some kind of politician or something, then you would have thought, oh well, you know, I don't even like that politician. I don't care. But being that they've used a character that we can all relate to in some aspect, it really makes it more hit close to home. Now for C. What the cartoonist is trying to say about the food issue is that we need to fix it before everyone is affected. By making the character say what he does, it makes it seem as if he is saying so because it's a normal thing to eat foreign food. The cartoonist feels that this is an important issue that should be resolved before it becomes a bigger issue. The cartoonist has a positive outlook on the horse meat problem because they make more of a joke out of it than anything else. By this, you know, he could have went and wrote like this big article about it. He just decided to make a cartoon. You know what, it could get across to more audiences at a wider array of time. And who wants to read this big, lengthy speech about how this guy felt when he can just make a picture of it and it gets across to the audience just as quick? Now, my opinion, guys, on this entire outlook is that, you know what, us as consumers, we should not have to watch out for big corporations, and we should trust the actual labels. Like, if you went to go buy yourself a cheeseburger, guys, at McDonald's, if it said cheeseburger, you expect to get a cheeseburger. So why not in the grocery store when you go and buy yourself your lasagna you want to have for supper? Why should you be worried if it's got horse meat in it? That's ridiculous. Like, it'd be like buying a bag of chips that says plain and all of a sudden, oh, it's all dressed. It doesn't happen. Well, it can. I mean, it happened, but I mean, to this many people, like, it affected something like 300,000 people in Europe. I'm sure there's a lot of people living over in Europe, but I mean, 300,000 people, it's expected to have affected. Because the shipment that they send out at one point in time from the manufacturer is ridiculous. They send out something like a $2 or $3 million order, boom, 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 every day, or every week, or however they have their shipments planned. So guys, thank you guys for watching this video. This is John from John Does Gaming. I'm going to use this video as a little bit of a little bit of advertisement for myself. If any of you guys out there in the audience want to watch gaming videos like unboxings, reviews, game rants, let's plays, as such, go to my channel, hit up that like and subscribe button, guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys as my new subscribers. See you guys next time.